My name is Sterling Chu. My company is Second Growth Homes. And today I'm going to put a loft railing, a handrail, and I'm going to get started on the ladder for this loft in a 20 by 30 cabin. So these are the pieces that we're starting with today. This is all Sitka spruce lumber. So these two 2x4s are going to be the posts on either side of where the loft ladder comes down. Not over the bridge, sorry, right here, where the loft ladder comes down. And these 2x2s here are the balusters that go all the way across the front of the loft up there. So I'm just gonna get my drill out here. I've got a tapered countersink on there. So we're gonna drill and countersink for the screws to attach these handrail posts and balusters. For the 2x2s, I'm going to do 2 screws, and for the 2x4 posts, we're going to do 4 screws. We're using a nice star drive screw, and this is going to be a really fun project. We're going to get this handrail up there quick, and then we'll get the loft ladder stringers shaped. And then we're going to get the domino joiner out and join up a beautiful loft hand railing. Okay, so just drilled my first couple holes, and the countersink that I'm using is super dull. So when I go to drill the hole, the drill bit goes through no problem. But as soon as that countersink hits, it's very, very dull. So those countersinks are really expensive. We're gonna go sharpen this one up. Okay, so just started our work day and our countersink is dull. We do have some newer ones here, but this one seems to be in okay shape, just a little bit dull. So go ahead and take the countersink off of that drill bit. And there, if you see it, you can see it's very dull, and they're really easy to sharpen. I was actually going to put this onto another non-tapered drill bit and do it that way, but it's so easy to sharpen, I'm just going to grab it with my vice grips, and we're going to do it real carefully here. Okay, so here we've got a slow spree grinder. So you just need to sharpen up the cutting edges of these 4 cutters. And I just did one, it came out perfectly. So when I'm doing stuff like this, our goal is always to just don't take off any more than you need to. You just need to very carefully line it up, and then you roll it in just till that tip touches. And I roll it back a little bit, right there. And I can see that it's absolutely perfectly sharp. So I'll do the rest of them here. Okay, I'll show it to you out here in the light and see if we can. It's so hard to get the focus on that drill bit. Okay, so we sharpened up our carbide countersink here, and we're gonna go ahead and drill another hole, see how she goes. It's like absolute butter. Look, just the second the cutter touches the wood, it eats the full depth of the plug with no issue. The first ones I cut, it would not go. So, it's like brand new. So you can sharpen your countersinks real easily, and they work great. I usually do it with a sander. So I'll just hold the countersink onto a sander. I usually have a random orbital sander here. I'll just put this in my vice grips and hold it on the sander, sand it. But that diamond grinding wheel of my dad's did a very, very nice job. They're basically hollow ground carbide cutter, and you know, I mean, you can touch that up 30 times, you know, before it's done. And they're very expensive things, so. Huge part of woodworking is just knowing how to sharpen your tools. Like, a huge part of it. So here I've got my 4 holes countersunk and drilled, so those are ready to go. I'm just gonna show you one here. So when I grabbed this countersink from my dad, it's actually my dad's countersink. When I grabbed this countersink, it was absolutely dull. So it would drill through the wood the second the countersink hit the timber, it would just absolutely stop. I mean, it would not even go. And took it over to my house in 2 seconds. We sharpened it up. Here we go. I mean, just nothing. No problems at all. It's just like brand new. And it'll be like that all day, probably for quite some time. Well, I got a great start to these handrails. Now I'm going to start on the loft ladder and cutting the last balusters where the handrail meets the roof. Got my posts up where the loft ladder connects. I got my handrails on, and most of the balusters on, and it just looks great. Really, really brings the room together nicely. I can't wait to have this ladder done.